What's up, everyone? Today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Sacred Beast. Now, Sacred Beast is a very interesting deck that's kind of pays tribute to the Egyptian gods. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, before we get into the deck profile, I'm still looking for more people to fill the tournament that I am actually going to be hosting. I have the links in the description to the video with more details, so I hope you'll go to that video, maybe think about joining. Now let's get right into the video. First, I run 3 Chaos Summoning Beasts. Chaos Summoning Beast, if you tribute this card, special summon one Uriah, Harmon, or Raviel from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. You match this card from your graveyard to add one Fallen Paradise from your deck to your hand. So not only can it special summon one of your Sacred Beasts out for pretty much free, you can also add the field spell as well. Next, I run 3 Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning Beast, when this card is normal summon, you can add one Uriah, Harmon, or Raviel, or one card that specifically lists any of those cards and its text from your deck to your hand. So it's your searcher, and during your main phase, you can normal summon one fiend monster with 0 attack in addition to your normal summon set. So what you want to do is ideally bring out your Chaos Sorcerer. But almost all of the Sacred Beast cards have 0 attack, and really you can basically bring out any Sacred Beast card you want. You also bring out Phantom Beast, or Phantom of Chaos, which I run 2 of. Your opponent takes no battle damage from attacks involving this card. Once per turn, you can target one effect monster in your graveyard, banish the target, and if you do, until the end phase. This card's name and original attack and effect is replaced by that card's original name, attack, and effect. So let's say you got a Chaos Summoner in the grave. You use the effect of Chaos, and it literally becomes a Chaos Summoner. It's literally extra copies of any one card. I also run the 2 Dark Summoning Beasts. Dark Summoning Beast, you tribute this card, special summon one Uriah, Raviel, or Harmon from your hand or deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. And you can match this card from graveyard to add one of them, Uriah, Harmon, or Raviel from your deck to your hand. So definitely really good at getting out your Uriah, Raviel, and Harmon. Speaking of, I run the 1 Uriah. This card gains 1000 attack for each spell continuous card. For each continuous trap card in your graveyard. Once per turn, you can target one set spell trap card your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Now the player can activate trap cards in response to this effect's activation. Also run the 2 Raviel. Each time your opponent normal summons a monster, special summon one Phantasm token, but it cannot declare an attack. Once per turn, you contribute one monster. This card gains attack equal to the tribute monster's original attack until the end of the turn. I also run the 2 Harmon. Harmon, if this card destroys the opponent's monster battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. While this card is face up in defensive position, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. And considering all of them have 4000 attack, they're just big beat sticks. Also run the 1 Raviel. Raviel cannot be normal summoned like most of the other high-level Sacred Beasts. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. Quick effect, you can discard this card, target one Raviel you control. For the rest of the turn, its attack becomes double its original attacks. So basically, it can almost OTK. And it can attack all monsters your opponent controls. And if this card is in your graveyard, you contribute one monster, add this card to your hand. And lastly, I run 1 Nibiru for my hand trap of choice. Moving on to the spells, I run the 2 Cerulean Skyfire. To special summon Harmon using its own procedure, you can also use face down spells you control. Once per turn while you control an attack position, Harmon, you can negate any spell trap effect that is activated by your opponent. Then change Harmon you control to defensive position. Also run the 2 Fallen Paradise. Your opponent cannot target the Sacred Beasts with card effects. Well, at least the higher ones, Uriah, Harmon, and Raviel. Also, those monsters cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while you control them. If you control Uriah, Harmon, or Raviel, or an Armor Tile, you can draw 2 cards. So it's got a little bit of a draw power. One thing with this deck is we actually got plenty of draw power. I run 3 Opening of the Spirit Gates. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Uriah, Harmon, or Raviel, or one monster that specifically lists any of those cards and its text from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can discard one card, special summon one fiend monster with 0 attack from your graveyard. Once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster, you can add one continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand. Now for draw power, I run 3 Allure of Darkness, 2 Pot of Desires, and an Upstart Goblin, because Sacred Beasts are basically all of them are dark except for Uriah and Harmon. I also run the 1 Foolish Burial and the 1 for 1 to round out the main deck, or to round out the spells. Moving on to traps, I run 3 Awakening of the Sacred Beast. This card gains effects based on the number of Yuria, Harmon, or Raviol with different names you control. 1. Each time your opponent or special summons a monster, gain life points equal to the attack of that monster. 2. Negate the activated effects of monster your opponent controls. 3. Any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So definitely a card you really want to have at 3. And I also run 3 Crackdown and the 1 Skill Drain. You want to run some continuous spells and traps because for the Yuria, Raviol, and Harmon, they actually require 3 tributes to summon. However, one of them uses fiend monsters, one of them uses continuous spells, and one of them uses continuous traps. And Skill Drain is card basically hurts your opponent more than it hurts you, because even if you negate your own monster's attack, they're literally just big beat sticks, so you'll be able to attack and win the game. Moving on to the extra deck, I run 2 Armatal, the Chaos Phantasm. Must first be special summoned by banishing the above cards you control, aka Yuria, Harmon, and Raviol. Cannot be destroyed by battle and gains 1000 attack during your turn only. So basically going second, this will just OTK. I also run 1 number 881 Super Dreadnought Relic Cannon Super Dora. Man, why do the Super Dreadnoughts have to have such long names? Once per turn quick effect, you detach one material from this card, and target one face-up monster on the field. That target is unaffected by card effects except to summon until the end of this turn. Also run the 1 Super Dreadnought Relic Cannon Gustav Max. Once per turn, detach one material and inflict 2000 damage to your opponent. And also run the 1 Relic Cannon Juggernaut Libre. Libre, once per turn, you can detach one material from this card. It gains 2000 attack. Also, for the rest of the turn, this card can declare an attack. You can only declare an attack with this card. During each battle phase, this card can make attack on monsters up to the number of materials it has, +1. So definitely one thing with this deck, it can get really high numbers and just attack with really big numbers. Now for the rest of the cards I run, it's mostly just some generic stuff like Bracco Z. I also run the 1 Dagaris. For links, I run Link Rebo and Salamangreat Armorage for the lower level and lower attack Sacred Beasts. I also run 2 Barricade Board Blocker since we do have a bunch of continuous spells and traps. An IP package with Nightmare, a Unicorn, and Phoenix, as well as an Apollousa and access code to round out the extra deck. So, what do you think of Sacred Beasts? Think it's a pretty cool deck? Do you think they're better than the original Egyptian gods? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make.